Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination.
Hello, welcome back to the Place to Be Reviews. I'm Etepelkuian right here with all of yous. Today we're on Slate.com checking out this article from Matthew Dessem. The Emperor in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker was a clone, according to the novelization. Now, novelizations can be good. They can be well done. They can expand upon things in movies. And then there's these kind of novelizations, which these kind of novelizations are used to explain substandard films. If I have to sit down and read a book, explain your movie, then your movie has failed at its purpose. If I have to read adjacent books and comics and other, books to explain why your movie couldn't tell the story right, then you did something wrong as a filmmaker. When the news broke that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker would feature the return of Emperor Palpatine, it didn't take long for Star Wars superfans to come up with plausible backstory to explain how he got there. Here's the basic timeline. A few years after Palpatine fell down the shaft of the second Death Star during the Battle of Endor, at the end of Return of the Jedi, a growing ethno-fascist movement on Earth figured out how to harness fan culture and rise of social media to recruit and train a new generation of Nazi stooges. After honing their powers during Gamergate, this ragtag band of white supremacist morons turned their attention on the Star Wars franchise.
I'll kick your ass.
And were such relentless shitheads about the whole thing that they convinced senior management at the Walt Disney Company.
What?
Star Wars fans were little witty bitty babies that just wanted to be told the exact same stories about the exact same space wizards over and over again.
What?
Which made Emperor Palpatine's resurrection at the hands of Sith cultists on the planet Exegol more or less inevitable.
What?
That explanation
What?
made a certain amount of sense.
What?
More than most fan theories anyway, but over the weekend,
What?
Screen Rant broke the news that fans somehow got it wrong. It turns out Emperor Palpatine was a clone.
What?
And this author is an absolute fucking moron. And what they can do is they can take their obvious opinion piece, Rock, take it away.
Turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it straight up. You can do it.
The definitive explanation for Sheev Palpatine's long journey from middle-aged senator from the planet Naboo to physical embodiment of a corporation that has run out of ideas is found in Ray Carlson's upcoming novel, The Rise of Skywalker, Expanded Edition, Star Wars, which includes all new scenes adapted from never-before-seen material, deleted scenes and input from filmmakers. The book isn't officially out until March 17th, but it was on sale over the weekend at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, and contains a scene in which Kylo Ren draws on his superior knowledge of Star Wars canon. He's the ultimate fan, after all. To come to the conclusion that the Emperor's spirit has been transferred into a clone body. Here's the relevant passage. All the vials were of empty liquid save one, which was nearly depleted. Kylo peered closer. He'd seen this apparatus before, too, when he'd studied the Clone Wars as a boy. The liquid flowing into the living nightmare before him, fighting a losing battle to sustain the Emperor's putrid flesh. What could you give me, Kylo asked. The Emperor lived after a fashion, and Kylo could feel his very bones that the clone body sheltered the Emperor's actual spirit. It was an imperfect vessel, though, unable to contain his immense power. It couldn't last much longer.
That's what she said.
Well, that settles that. The most ludicrous part of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker actually has a perfectly reasonable in-world explanation.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Bullshit. It's all bullshit.
all of it.
And the Walt Disney Company will be glad to tell you about it for just $28.99 in hardcover. It's a valuable reminder that it's foolish to form an opinion about a movie if all you've done is watch the movie.
Everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world.
It's a valuable reminder that it's foolish to form an opinion about a movie if all you've done is watch the movie.
How dare you!
You've got to make sure you've attended all the Fortnite fan events and purchased all the premium add-ons because a baseline economy class movie theater ticket is woefully inadequate.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Donnie, shut the fuck up, Donnie.
That is clearly how the economy is supposed to work these days.
He was a retard.
But it's not how Star Wars books are supposed to work.
You got any biscuits for sale in there?
The way they're supposed to work is simple. Your parents buy you a copy of Return of the Jedi, the storybook based on the movie, and instead of clearing your lingering questions about whether or not the Emperor is still alive and hiding in your basement, the book includes pictures from a deleted scene in which Luke tries to escape the Rancor pit by climbing out through the ceiling grate, only to have spectators gleefully stomp on his fingers until he tumbles back to certain doom. This has several advantages over the Clone Empire approach. It gives young Star Wars fans a whole new genre of nightmare, while subtly suggesting the very idea of Star Wars canon is absurd.
It's fucked!
Because industrialized culture inevitably produces these sorts of inconsistencies, as stories written by one person become products designed by committees. Trying to puzzle out how and why Return of the Jedi, the storybook based on the movie, included a photograph of something happening in the movie that didn't happen in the movie could, hypothetically speaking, be a formative experience that permanently colored the way a young moviegoer understands storytelling, film production, copyright law, marketing, and the best method to escape from a Rancor pit.
This is all wrong.
Oh my God. So this author is obviously
He was a retard.
What?
He was a retard.
a Last Jedi fan. There's just one kind of person that likes that trash. On the other hand, elderly Star Wars fans are a superstitious and cowardly lot.
And fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
And they seem to take a lot of comfort in the idea that a fiercely hierarchical organization like the Walt Disney Company can use a top-down management approach to tell interesting stories, then go back and fix those interesting stories based on feedback from enraged customers whenever they screw up. It's a simple model, and it's easy to understand its appeal. Story groups have direct control over their franchises, while fear keeps the local screenwriters and directors in line. Fear of the Star Wars fan community Disney has constructed, a technological terror whose power to destroy mentions makes it the ultimate power in the universe. If only someone could make a movie that explored these ideas. It's people like this that write these articles. This guy went after the fans again.
Damn you, you useless pustule.
Goes after the fans. Can't write an article about why having cloned Palpatine in the movie's bad.
It's treason, then.
Was part of this due to the Last Jedi backlash? Well, there's certain ways that you can engage your fan base and correct things and do it right, like a certain movie that just came out, Sonic the Hedgehog. Rick Fowler and the crew over there, they listened. They corrected the movie. They made it better. It made money. We rewarded them with that. This movie made $1 billion. I went to see it opening night, and I still think it's trash. I thought The Last Jedi was trash. They're both trash. Now, is this one less offensive than The Last Jedi? Yeah. At least this one made an effort to try to include some actual Star Wars into it. The sequel trilogy, even The Force Awakens, is the least offensive of all the sequel trilogy movies. Now, Solo was just boring. Rogue One is good. I like and enjoy Rogue One, and I watch it occasionally with my son. I enjoy the movie. Now, The Rise of Skywalker, like I said, I wanted to review it, so I went to watch it with some family on opening night, and none of us, we were just kind of all sitting there in disbelief, and I got called a bigot and a Nazi for saying that the Space Horse idea was stupid before the movie came out, because I'd seen all the leaks and leaked scenes from press screenings that went on to Twitter. I saw the ending of the movie. They basically copied Avengers Endgame. I am all the Sith, and I am all the Jedi. I'm Iron Man. I mean, come on. This was lazy filmmaking, lazy writing. It was a cash grab. You know, it worked. It made $1 billion. Whoop-de-doo. You know, the Palpatine being a clone thing taken from the Dark Empire story. It was a good story, but you just completely You just completely mucked it up.
It's fucked!
This was bad. Star Wars is a mess. Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. That writers group needs to go. And I'm about to show you an image from the Project Luminous, which what they focus on is just ridiculous. Let's check this image out real quick. So this is the whiteboard in the writer's room for the High Republic era project. Project Luminous. Diversity is underlined. Representation and diversity is underlined. You see it says Star Wars. No wars. You know, feelings. Sweeping. Epic. This is absolutely ridiculous. Not pro-war. It's called Star Wars, and the group of blue checkmark idiots they have writing this project is surely going to tank it to the point where I literally have zero interest in it, other than it'll probably get some views on YouTube. That's all it's good for at this point. So tell me what you think in the comments below. What do you think of this failed attempt at retconning a bad movie by saying Palpatine was a clone the whole time, and as an attempt to save face by Lucasfilm? Bottom left-hand corner of your screen is where you can connect with us across social media. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Join the Fandom Menace. Hit that subscribe button today. Por favor, it will never cost you a thing to be a subscriber. Remember, if I don't see you, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. There is another video that is coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. So don't you go anywhere. Stay right here on the Place to Be Reviews, where I'm with all of you.